Hello and welcome to Island Brew on Politics Social. Yes, I'm aware that we are buffering quite badly at the moment, so I'm going to just try and adjust my Wellington boots. Just give me 1 second, see if I can do this successfully. I'll just knock the bit rate down a little bit more. Hopefully that'll make the dropped frame rate go away. Okay, right. Yeah, there's no more drop frames. Okay, so the slightly shonky intro sequence there, but I trust you can hear me. I trust you can see me, even though I'm glowing like a light bulb at the moment because I'm wearing a white shirt, which is something that you should never do when you're streaming on the internet. Something that, being a YouTuber, apparently brings in 2.2 billion, with a B, billion pounds to the economy. Being a YouTuber in this country, there is now an all-party working group, whatever it's called, in Parliament, dedicated to us lot, streamers. Maybe not me. We've got person impersonating in the chat. We've got L. We have got Diz and Saz. And we've also got Billy Kershaw there. We've got Barbarian with an M-R-E-S. M-Res. We've also got... we've got Martin, Graham and others. So if you'd like to join our friends in the chat, all you need to do is hit the subscribe button and just wait for 1 minute and you'll be able to start making your words appear. I've got to be very careful not to lean on the table because it's a wobbly table that I'm on. So I'm currently in Bocas del Toro, or the whole region is called Bocas del Toro, but I'm currently in Bocas Town. The capital of the region. Capital idea, old chap. Just got back from Panama City. If anyone saw my little walking tour of Casco Viejo yesterday, you would have seen me showing a few, and the Cinta Costera. You would have seen me walking around a little bit of Panama. Just sweating profusely. Oh my god, it was so hot yesterday, and not long after I finished filming it started to rain, and it was a blessed relief, I have to say. And here in Bocas, I wasn't here, I was on a bus. I've been on 2 overnight buses in a row. Haven't done that for a while, and last night was a particularly difficult experience as I was sharing my 2 seats with 3 people. There was a mother with her nursing baby right next to me, on the seat next to me on the coach, and then there was the aisle, and then the woman on that side, she also had a baby that she was nursing, and so both babies, when one wasn't crying, the other one was, and the one next to me just kept kicking me all night, which was nice, and had little booties on, not booties, but shoes, little shoes on. So that was, that was okay, and it was freezing cold as well, and I didn't have my blankie with me, or my hoodie, or my Arctic sleeping bag. Oh, and the driver has to drive like a maniac, of course, because why would you drive a bus and not fling your customers around, your passengers, the people who paid to get on the thing that you're driving? Why would you not fling them around? Why wouldn't you want them to be uncomfortable? Why wouldn't you want them to have like bruises in the morning on either side where they've been slamming into the handles of the seats, the seat rests on either side of the seat? Why would you not want that? Why would you not want to cause injuries to your passengers by fanging it around corners at 60 miles an hour in a massive coach in the middle of the night when you're the only thing on the road? And who cares? Why would you? But it's just the way it's done, I guess. Not just in developing nations, but also in Britain. If anyone gets the bus, that they give out, to some drivers at least, when they're giving out their shoes to wear for work, they're giving out the shoes that Herman Munster wore in the Munsters, like those really. Do you remember in the early 2000s there was a big trend for those shoes, like platform shoes? I forgot what they were called, but they were just like made you a foot taller. Just giving them, but they're made of lead, and they can only slam on the accelerator and slam on the brakes, throwing backwards or forwards all the passengers on the bus, which is generally elderly people. So, you know, if you like tormenting elderly people, become a bus driver, why not? But yeah, very strange that people decide to do that, but not my cup of tea. Obviously, I would rather be on a train. Thank you very much. Nice and smooth. Spice Girl shoes. Yes, Francis, that's what I meant. Diz put bid in. What? So Diz put bid in only 6:02. If not, I'll bid in next 8 minutes. Is someone buying me? Are you buying me? Is someone bidding for me? Oh wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So let's get into it. Let's go and have a look at the papers for today. Because it covers a few things that I want to talk about anyway, so that kind of works. We've got the Mirror there on the left saying, deranged, there you go, world's most powerful man baby. Trump rants to the UN about climate change, migrants, Gaza, Sadiq's, Sharia, London, escalators, marble floors and teleprompters. Guy's a fucking lunatic. But there you go, the world's most powerful man baby. And then the Times covers the same story from a different angle. Shoot down Russell Jets is going to be very upset with me saying that we should just shoot him down. Shoot down Russian jets in NATO's sky, says Trump. So this is after the incursion of Russian jets into the airspace of Estonia the other day, and therefore the space of NATO. Going back to the Mirror on this side, there's a picture there of Dickie Bird with his mouth open, which you could do something very inappropriate with, but you know, he died, so don't do that. He had a good innings. I think he was 92. He was a cricket umpire. The umpire strikes back, and then there's a story on the top of the Times, to go back to the Times. Charity pushes unproven and unethical abortion reversal pill. A controversial abortion reversal pill is being pushed to women seeking mental health support from a registered charity. Jesus Christ, this is the anti-abortion loons. And there we have Kate there from the family. You know, she's meeting some kids. She went to school. She went to the school to meet some kids. So she has to be on the front cover of the newspaper, because that's just as important as the potential for World War III, which is on the first two columns. But, you know, she's got to take up the main picture. But you know what? I'd rather look at her than look at Trump. So there you go. We've got... dreaming of fleeing the gloom for Spanish sunshine. Read Mandy's very cautionary tale on the top of the mail. What do you reckon the cautionary tale is in the mail? Do you reckon it was full of Spaniards? It was full of people from another country, this country I went to. Heartbroken Danny Dyer forced to pull out of Strictly. And then email damns Starmer's top aid in 740,000 pound donations route, though this is about Morgan McSweeney. Tories demand police probe into Morgan McSweeney and hidden funding for Saint Keir. For Sir Keir. So here's my prediction on this one, and you should subscribe. I think it's going to be a big nothing burger. I don't think anything is going to come directly of it, but I'm hoping it is used as a pretext to getting rid of Morgan McSweeney, because I do not like Morgan McSweeney. He is not someone that I think is doing a good job for Labour or for the country as a whole, because the more people say screw Labour, I'm going to join I'm going to join refuck, the more likely it is that refuck will get in the next election, and they will refuck everything. So just to jump into the chat for the moment, Spice Girl Shoes. Oh my God, he's totally deranged. Thanks, Martin. Oh, you're talking about Trump. I thought you were talking about me. Trump will probably forget what he said and be sucking off Putin tomorrow. Probably. He forgets what he says the next day. Lunatics are more stable than the man baby. That's very true, Zephyr. And Francis says, I was at the pharmacy and pharmacist said paracetamol sales will go down after Trump declared that paracetamol causes autism. Do you know what, there is a bit of a relief going on that he didn't say that, because there was a worry that he was going to say that vaccines caused autism. So he didn't say that. He said paracetamol caused autism, which is a nonsense, which is absolute bullshit from top to bottom, left to right. It's that there are many factors in autism, and genetics being the major one. If you have autistic people in your family, you are more likely to be autistic yourself. Just like with ADHD, and just like with Huntington's, which has just been found. Now, Huntington's is a horrific disease. Imagine it like a mashup of dementia, MS, and Parkinson's all rolled into one. It is a disease that's passed down through your genes, and you might have it, you might not have it. It usually develops and usually starts creating symptoms in people's 30s or 40s, and I know at least one person in my life who was taken by it. So this is a really, really horrific ailment, and rather than just, I don't know, standing up on a podium and just making shit up like what Trump and his mates do, some scientists actually did some science, and they have found a procedure which slows it down by 75%. So to put that into put that another way, for every 1 year you would have had, once you were diagnosed with, once symptoms had presented, you would now get an extra 3 years. So I probably said that wrong as the percentage, but that's what it means. So basically, instead of getting 1 year, you get 4 years. And there's a hope that giving this to people who have not presented symptoms might stop symptoms appearing altogether. It is a medical miracle. It is a breakthrough, and it is a testament to the hard work and the diligence of scientists all over the world working together to achieve this good. Lots of proper research. Autism was diagnosed before paracetamol was invented. Yeah, I think autism was first differentiated in 1908, I think. It was around the turn of the 20th century, and it wasn't until, the 1950s when Tylenol came along. It's called something else in America. We call it paracetamol. But one thing that does fuck up babies is untreated fever in pregnant women. So when women are pregnant, if they get a fever, the best thing they can take for it is paracetamol. Now women are not taking paracetamol because the orange tangerine tyrant says, "Oh, that'll cause your baby to have mild learning difficulties, possibly," and then we're going to go, "Okay, I'd rather my baby fucking died instead." Ableism just meets medical quackery, snake oil salesmen, fuckwits, and I hate them. I want all the bad things that could possibly happen to these people who sell miracle cures. They're always on a grift. You know, there's a company, it's run by Dr. Phil, or, one of Trump's mates, that make the thing that they want you to take, which hasn't been tested medically at all. But they'll make $1 million. And some babies will die. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. Right, I do though. You give a fuck, don't you? Okay, so we're going to go back to the papers now. We've got Trump's UN rant there. Your countries are going to hell over immigration. And then Dickie Bird at the top there. Legendary cricket umpire and Titan of Yorkshire. Dies at 92. So, your countries are going to hell over immigration. Days after praising special relationship, President scorns Britain and allies for a failed experiment of open borders. Falsely claims London is adopting Sharia law and calls climate change a scam. Which is exactly the same nutty shit you'd expect to hear from your racist uncle on Facebook. Unfortunately, your racist uncle on Facebook is now the President of the United States of America. Fuck me. What gods did we upset to end up on this fucking timeline, I tell you? We must have right royally pissed off some, old gods and the new. Anyway, on this speech as well, the idea that open borders have ruined countries, right? Okay, if that was the case, very simply put, if anyone ever says this to you, you just point out that if immigration was a bad thing, then North Korea would be the richest country in the world, and America would be the poorest. And funnily enough, it's kind of the other way around. you make your country somewhere desirable, somewhere where people want to go and live and work, your whole society benefits. And I'm sick of hearing about how all these people saying, oh, we let these people into our country, they don't share the same values as us. Do you know what? No one who votes Tory shares the same values as me. No one who votes for Brexit or for Trump shares or supports Trump shares the same values as me. So I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. Oh, they don't treat women with respect. Are you kidding me? And this is a point that's got to be made time and time again. You know, when they talk about men from other cultures coming to Britain and causing harm to children, right? It's awful. It's dreadful. Absolutely should be prosecuted. They should have the book thrown at them. They shouldn't be allowed. They should be thrown in a fetid jail cell and left to rot, as far as I'm concerned. However, here's the thing, right? If someone means you harm in this life, 9 times out of 10, it'll be someone that you know. It'll be a family member. It will be a friend, a colleague, a neighbour. It will be someone who is already in your sphere. That's who it will be. It won't be a stranger waiting round a street corner to stab you to death. It just, you know, obviously muggings happen and all this kind of stuff, but the way that the media in particular make everything seem way worse than it actually is. When they talk about knife crime in London, we have about 600 odd murders a year by murderers out of nearly 70 million people. That is a ridiculously low murder rate. Like that is one of the safest countries. It's one of the safest places on earth. I think statistically speaking, because so few people live in Antarctica, it's a more dangerous place because at least one person got murdered there once, maybe. You know, like this is the thing. It's like the safety of Britain in comparison with other countries, and even in comparison with history at the moment, is gobsmacking. And I'll give you a stat here. So let's say that the number of murders in Britain is about 600 a year, right? The number of people who are shot dead by the police in the US is around 1,200 a year. It's around twice that. Shot dead by the police, by the rozzers, by the filth, by the pigs, by the busies. Yeah, that twice as many people, absolute numbers. And I know America's got 5 times our population, but that's police killings. That's not murderers murdering. You'll have a look at how many murders are committed in the US every year. Holy fucking flying shitballs. It's 5 times higher. Proportionately, it is 5 times higher than it is in the UK. How many people murdered in the US 2024? 14 million. No, that's oh, there you go. Fucking hell. Sorry. 14 million was the number of criminal offences. Not the number of deaths. The number of deaths is 22,830 from murder, right? I'm taking this from the fast stats on the CDC website. So Britain has a deaths per 100,000 population of I think it's 1 in 10,000. Hang on, let me just check. I don't want to tell you. I don't want to put you on a bum steer. UK murder rate per 100k. Yeah, 1. I was right. So we have a murder rate of 1 in every 100,000. America has a rate of 6.8. And we have here the leader of that country, of that goddamn shithole, coming into the UN, whinging that the escalator's not working, whinging about the auto cue, right? And saying that Britain is a really dangerous place. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely shit? Like, let fewer people die in actual war zones than die in America. You know, and here's something interesting. If you take away the number of gun murders, like just eliminate them entirely, America's murder rate goes down to about the same as Belgium's. Yeah, it comes right down. It comes right down. It's almost as though giving people the power to have guns is a bad idea, because we all have intrusive thoughts. We all, when we're driving, sometimes we think, oh, wouldn't it be a good idea to, I don't know, drive on the other side of the road and crash into someone? And then the other half of your brain goes, what the fuck? What was that? Why did you even think that? Are you insane? Why would you even, when you go on a cliff top and you're like, well, maybe I could just, walk off this and see what happens. And you're like, your other side of your brain goes, what? What the hell is wrong with you? Yeah, intrusive thoughts, we all get them. Fortunately, most of us, when we get them at home, we don't actually have a weapon that we are, qualified to use. I say qualified, that we can possibly use to carry out that intrusive thought as it pops into our head for no good reason in a split second. Takes a while to take anyone out normally, takes a while. Famously, on the day that Sandy Hook happened in America in December 2012, on the same day that 30 kids were murdered by this fucking lunatic with an AR-15, in China, a lunatic ran into a school with a knife. Do you know how many kids he killed? None. It's really hard. It's a lot more difficult, mate. It just is. You start stabbing people and all the other people run away. Guns, not a great idea. But also they say, the big problem in America is the mental health crisis. And you're like, yeah, so stop giving people who are suffering from mental health problems, stop giving them guns. Stop giving them guns. Because, we all get sad sometimes. Okay, so moving on to the other shit that I need to show. Oh shit, I did something wrong there. Ugh. Okay, I'm going to go back to the papers. Sorry for bouncing around so much. It's just this laptop's a very bouncy laptop. What can I say? Our countries are going to hell. Right, all right, mate. Daily Express. Oh, just by the way, as well, Trump's dad was an immigrant, wasn't he? Or at least his granddad was. His wife's an immigrant. It's funny that, isn't it, with Farage and Trump. They always go on about immigrants all the time being bad. Doesn't stop him knocking them up. Do you know what I mean? They want an immigrant for themselves. Oh, that's all right. That's my immigrant. Fucking hypocrites. Okay, so the Daily Express here, 5,000 OAPs to lose winter pay, 500,000 retirees could lose their winter pay. Okay, cool, but it means they're earning over £35,000 a year. Mate, I don't earn that and I'm working every fucking day, piss off. Daily Star here, tributes to Dickie Bird, a great innings, Dickie. There you go. So Jeff, he called me Gerald, he was fun. Cricket. I was told to talk and dress differently, says Frank Delaney. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Slow Horses, new series of Slow Horses. Ooh. Oh, not giving a good review. Not even Gary Oldman can save the MI5 rejects. Oh dear. Oh dearie. Maybe it's jumped the shark. Has it jumped the shark? I don't know. And we've got Darren has just joined the chat. Hello, Darren. How bloody well are you, mate? I'm in Bocas del Toro at the moment in Panama. Okay, your countries are going to hell, Trump tells European leaders on the front cover of The Guardian here, and experts dismiss autism claims about paracetamol because it's absolute bollocks. Boycott on Bird of 70-year relationship, and then we've got a picture of the woman from 42, and she's supporting the Southport families, which is a nice thing to do, can't knock that. But I don't know if it's worth putting on the front cover of the newspaper. Just saying. Trump's Scottish woman, says Francis. Thank you so much for the super chat. First super chat of the day. Thank you so much. That is really, really kind of you, Francis. I really appreciate it. It keeps the channel alive. Keeps us chucking along. And then there's a story here in the Telegraph. Trump, West going to hell. I've read that one. Army tried to hide dossier revealing sex harassment, which doesn't surprise me. And then in the nonsense bits at the bottom here, we've got Epstein threatened to destroy Duchess. We've got guilty Epping migrant may avoid deportation. Johnny Ball saying he's beaten prostate cancer. I hope he has. That's great news if he has. Britain to suffer worse inflation in G7. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Let me take a little bit of water. Keep going. Woo. I didn't get much sleep last night, as you can possibly imagine. Tearing around mountain passes at 90 miles an hour. While one baby screamed at me on one side and the other one's trying to puke on me the other side. Great stuff. Awkward laughter. Trump, big UN speech received with incredulity. Reeves facing £30 billion black hole as pressure goes for tax hikes in her budget. The word on the street is they're going to do away with the two-child cap, which should be good. So that will get, I hope, some people back on board. I don't know. Might be a bit too late now, but whatever. Financial Times there. We've got Trump, tirade, UN is funding assault on the West. And then we've got Eli Lilly, this is a pharmaceutical company, boss joins pharma companies offensive against drug pricing regime. UK worst in Europe, doubt over new medicines, investment at risk. US group joins Maersk and AstraZeneca. So this is riding on the back of Trump, trying to make everyone pay as much for medicine as they pay in America, which we're just not going to do because we don't have the money. No one has the money. That's why so many people die in medical debt in America. Amazon closes fresh grocery stores as high-tech shopping experiment goes off. And finally, UN Sim Farm plot smashed. Secret Service swoops before summit. And security alert, then Trump launches shock tirade at world leaders. So there you go. A plot to cripple the phone network in New York when Donald Trump was lambasting global leaders at the UN was foiled by the Secret Service, officials say. And then we've got Sabrina Carpenter, pint-sized princess of pop, up there. Men are a fun species to watch. I honestly can't recommend her new album enough. It is fantastic. It is seriously awesome. Like, it's just it's very funny. It's very, very witty. And it's a lot of fun, and the tunes aren't bad either. So yeah, 5 out of 5, no notes. Did you see Jimmy Kimmel roasted Donald with the ES files? The Epstein files, I mean. Yeah. So Jimmy Kimmel was back on TV last night after a week away for saying hurty words about Twompy Wumpy. Yeah, so he was told that he couldn't present his show for a week, but then he came back and said, yeah, I'm going to present my show. And I think Disney hopefully are going to just stand up, Disney own ABC, the network that it's on, and hopefully they're just going to stand up to Trump and say, well, fuck off, mate, you know, we'll put our business elsewhere if you don't want it in this country. You know, how about that? How about Disney, like, literally just decides to set itself up in the UK? In the actual little village that they use in the intro sequences for the fairy castle. The big fairy castle's not there in reality, but the village that they use is. L says, Martin, you can wear a skirt if you like, no rules what you wear, providing you dress respectfully in public. Only stupid people don't get this. Yeah. The shock was that he could speak, said person impersonator. Elbows up, Canada. Simply seconded Dave there saying elbows up. I'm back in Canada on Saturday. So Saturday morning, I might do a very quick, well, for me, it'd be Saturday morning, it'd be Saturday afternoon for you. I will be doing, possibly, I'll be doing a Canada brew. And then it's going to be getting on a plane from Canada and in the evening, waking up the next morning in the UK and going straight to the Labour Party conference. There's a drinks reception at 5 o'clock that I've been invited to. Oh my God, it just never ends. But you know, it's all very exciting. So what else? Have we got early burns? The rules of having a gun. The results of having a gun cause more severe mental health landscape. Yes, they do. I've just got a text. I'm going to text someone and say, don't worry about it. I'm just doing a show. I'm just doing a show on the television. No, it's not, on the YouTubes. The YouTubes. It's coming down the data noodles into your face. Hello, Graham, says Daily Blase. Hope all are very, very well. I'm all right. I've got blisters on my feet. I've got one blister on my foot. I'm a bit sunburnt, I think. Yeah, a bit achy. The 2 overnight buses. I would have got the plane, you see. Because they have a plane that flies from here, and it used to fly. There used to be a plane in the morning you could get, and you could get to Panama City for 9 o'clock. and then I could meet up with my lawyer and do all the legal stuff I had to do yesterday, and then I would have been able to get on a plane at about 5 o'clock and fly back, right? And yeah, okay, it would be like $150 each way, which is a lot of money, and I wouldn't normally spend that much on flying when I don't have to, but the alternative is a fucking nightmare. Honestly, I would rather just continuously step on rakes all the way to Bocas del Toro than get on that bloody bus, but it's the only option if you don't fly. Anyway, so just between you and me, there was a plane crash here a few months ago. Probably shouldn't mention that too loud. On the little landing strip, the plane went off the landing strip. I don't know if it was in heavy rain or something, but no one died. It's all right, no one was injured. But one of the planes, I think, was taken out of commission, and it means there's fewer flights. So instead of there being like 6 or 8 flights a day, there's now only 4. And the first one to Panama City leaves at like 12, so you get there at 1. And then the last one out leaves at 2, and you get back here for 3. So yeah, I think there was a 5 o'clock flight yesterday that I saw on, it was like on Expedia or something, but then when I tried to look it up on the official website, I couldn't really find it, and when I did find something that looked like it was right, it was sold out. So the only option was to get the overnight bus there and the overnight bus back. It is a 10-hour journey through hell, but at least you stop in a little town. I forgot the name of the bloody town now. Shit, that's going to annoy me. I'm going to look it up now. You stop in a little town at midnight for some edibles. Not edibles. That's drugs, isn't it? For things you can eat. I'm just trying to remember what the name of the place is, because is it Santiago? Is it Santiago? It's one of those places that's quite a common Spanish name of somewhere. Yes, it's Santiago. You stop in the town of Santiago. We always stop at the same eatery. They must have a deal with the bus people that people always go there. And now I'm completely there's no definition on my top anymore, which is good because you can't see all the ketchup stains. No, I'll just sort that out so I'm not glowing like a fucking light bulb. There you go. A bit better. Thing is, if my shirt's not really bright, then my face is going to be too dark. If I get my shirt right, my face won't be right. That's why you should never wear white shirts when you're doing a thing to camera. You just avoid white shirts. Watch TV. You don't see too many people wearing white shirts on TV. Ed Balls is not edibles. I agree, Graham. Yes. Downer Shed says Farage this morning claiming immigrants are eating these swans at royal parks. Oh my god. Now I look like bloody what's his name, Colonel Blimp. Why is the colours gone all mad on this? Why am I looking all rosy? This is ridiculous. Come on webcam, you can do it. No, okay. I tried to do my advanced camera setup there, and it won't let me while I'm using the camera in OBS. Okay, right. Let's see what else is going on back in the chat. You've got me for another 24 minutes. Maybe we should set a goal. Let's set a goal. We need to get some money in, because I need to be able to get home. Let's just do 5 super chats. Light blue and higher, and we'll just have 15 minutes to get some super chats in, and if we get it, we will get confefe. So there you go. No, it's not quite the thing that I wanted, but that'll do. Right, there you go. Right, let's see if we get some super chats in. Put 50p in the idiot. It does seem mad to me that I'm now 46 and I'm still taking the method of transport, methods of transport that I was doing when I was like 19. back around Europe and shit. I wish I had a train here, but it was an American colony. They're not big into trains anymore. They used to be. America used to love their trains. Used to go on about them all the time. And then one day they went, no, it's the car. We got to do the car. America, I think, is now the biggest oil exporter in the world. It's overtaken Saudi Arabia. Yay. but the oil that they make, that doesn't work very well for them. Like for their refineries, they're more set up for Canadian oil or something. It's a very strange process. Or they could just use solar and wind and just pluck the energy from the air. Alvo and saying, Graham, it's always interesting watching trans people being interviewed in the 70s. People treat others worse now. Yeah, I think there was. Do you know what it probably was as well? It's like if you saw a trans person in the 1970s, it might be the only trans person you've ever seen. And so your brain would go, I don't know how to react in this situation. I've not been in this situation before. So you wouldn't necessarily be horrible to them. You'd just be a bit bemused, I guess. You would just be a bit like, I don't know what to say in this situation. I don't know where to look because I don't know, your brain becomes overwhelmed. And what the internet's done is it's introduced people by the back door to this ability to just say to people the most horriblest things anonymously online, and then when it comes to meeting people in real life, they feel empowered. And we see this with racists, we see this with ableists, and we totally see it with homophobes and transphobes. But no LGB without the T. Pete got familiar with the synth yet? I don't know. Buddy Holly got back. The blue Bermuda Triangle is a pain. Oh, Buddy Holly, what a guy! What a guy! And unfortunately, he did die in a plane crash, didn't he, with the Big Bopper? Who else died? Was Frankie Valens die in that as well, was it? There's another one. There wasn't the three of them who died in that one plane crash, which was really, really grim. But yeah, so let's not fly. Well, I'm flying. I'm flying back on Friday. So here's the schedule for the next couple of days. After doing this, I'm going to be running to the hardware store, which opens at 9 o'clock our time, so in 20 minutes. And I'm going to be getting the wood that I need to finish some jobs on the island before I go. I will then be spending the next 2 days working my absolute arse off, getting things ready to allow people to come and stay on the island this winter, if they wish, if they so wish. And then I am going to be I'm going to be leaving here again, long bus journey. On Friday, I'm going to be going to Puerto Viejo in Costa Rica. I'll be doing my morning show from the island as normal. So we have got 2 more morning shows from the island, or afternoon shows for you, but morning shows for me. 2 Island Brews to go. And then I'll be traveling through Costa Rica to, where are we going? All the way to San Jose. Well, I'll be stopping in Puerto Viejo to see a couple of friends from Liverpool who live there at the moment, and then I'll be heading over to San Jose, and I'll be staying in the airport all night because my flight's at 4 a.m. Well, no, sorry, my flight's at 6 a.m. but I've got to be there at 4 a.m. and it's just not worth checking in somewhere because the bus gets me in at like midnight. So I'll be checking in for like 2 hours. I think I'll just go straight to the airport. San Jose has a really nice airport. It's got couches and things. If you're gonna need to stay the night anywhere, I really recommend San Jose Airport. Just go and pretend you got a flight. Look like you're about to go on a flight. Insert coin 50p. Ready Player One. Yes. Richie Valens, the Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly, and I've turned into a light bulb again. Why does this? Is there no way of just saying to this bloody thing, stop doing your own thing, please? Just stay on the settings that I have put you on. Then again, I suppose it's because maybe it is staying on the settings that I've put it on, but it's just the change in the light through the clouds. It's a cloudy day. I'm guessing the sun comes out a little bit. Maybe I just blow out. Anyway, Andrew Ray says going for a follow-up CT scan for COPD lungs tomorrow to compare with the USA one 3 months ago, checking any changes with the small lump. So fingers crossed for Andrew. I hope it all works out, mate. I hope you get the result you're looking for. I love this idea that people are eating swans. People are eating what? Who even? What is it? Anyway, little bit of an advert now. Labour's comms are broken. Only we can fix them. Doesn't that sound familiar when people say only I can fix this? But me and Phil are saying that here's some simple ways that Labour could improve its comms. We're going to talk about how it is broken and how we need to get it back online. This is going to be the first episode of the agenda for a little while because obviously I've been away. But there's the tickets there. It is the agenda in real life in Liverpool during the party conference, which will be next Monday. Next Monday at 7 o'clock. Tickets are free. Yeah. Do you know the way to San Jose? Yeah, you go to the border at 6 Ayola and you buy a ticket on the bus. Left turn Albuquerque, says Simply Secular Dave. I like the way we're crossing over our Burt Bacharach with our Bugs Bunny. It's all good. And there's a lot of alliteration going there, so I like it. I like it. Keep it going, people. Keep it going. We've also got... there's a lot to get your head around, but I'm getting there, says Pete's Music. I think you speak for all of us there, Pete. Well, there's a lot to go around. They've eaten the cat, they've eaten the dogs. You've got a great life, says C Clues. It's pretty sweet. Like, I mean, look, I can't really complain. I know I might carp it now and again about having to, share a seat with a baby and the mum. But generally speaking, it's interesting. Like, I find all this interesting. I don't find it difficult. I don't find it gloomy or depressing. I mean, I've just kind of got that attitude about stuff. But I also feel that way about politics. Like, I don't necessarily wake up every morning going, oh God, the world's going to shit, woe is me. And I'm lucky that I can think not like that. And the reason why I can think not like that is because of all the travel I've done and the fact that so many people I've met all around the world are just fucking lovely. And that I know for a fact through personal experience, but also the statistics, that the psychos are in minority. Like, it's a small number of people who are fucking psychopaths, like Trump or Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage. We just have to stop these people getting into power. That's what we need to do. Stop them getting, getting anywhere near the levers of power, because they're just going to fuck things up for generations to come. But it doesn't get me down. And do you know what else also really, 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 really helps me? You watching this, like everyone in the chat, chatting away, talking about stuff that's going on, and going, oh my God, have you heard about this? I love it. Thank you. Because this is my therapy. This is my being able to talk about whatever the fuck is going on and be able to express myself in a way that makes me happy, makes me think, this is what I want to talk about. This is the things that are going on in my life and in the world that I think are worth mentioning. How's your dad while you were away? Says Andrew Ray. Asked Andrew Ray. He's all right, apparently. He's got dementia. He's bedbound. He's non-verbal, and he has been for years now. He's not getting any better, but I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him on Sunday. When I go, I'm going to be staying at my mum and dad's in Liverpool, and and sometimes you go in and there's a flicker of recognition, and he gives you a smile and a bit of a chuckle. That's always nice. But dementia is a cruel disease. It takes away the person before they die. It takes them away. It robs you of them. And I miss my dad. I miss the guy he was. He could be a pain in the arse at times, but then I suppose so can we all. But he's very intelligent. He was brilliant at pub quizzes. He was the only person who could consistently beat me at Trivial Pursuit. He was very funny as well. He knew lots of jokes, and he had loads of funny anecdotes. And one big regret in my life is not sitting down with him before he got too ill and just getting him to tell me some daft stories of his life. And if you do have parents who are getting on, please do that. Just get your phone. Put it down on the table or put it in a little clamp or something, and just chat with your parents. Just chat with someone, it might be an auntie or an uncle, or even if they're still alive, your grandparents. Just chat with them and ask them about stuff and get them to tell you stories, because once they're gone, those stories are gone with them, unless you record them. And so please do that. Elle says, Pete, I bought a new tiny home mixer studio multi-track recording type thing years ago. It's a complicated 2-inch thick manual. I was like, nope. Basically, the desk had multi-layers at the touch of a button. Cool. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes left on the target for any super chats. I know the quality of these shows hasn't been particularly barnstorming. I've tried my best. To continue streaming through thick and thin. I'm very grateful to anyone who can chip in a little bit. Ernie Burns, the swan eating has been the subject used to panic gammons before it was Romanians. Were they eating swans as well? They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the swans. I mean, for God's sake, what is wrong with people? Like, I just, the people coming out with this shit, like, what happened to them? What happened to them? What terrible, terrible thing turned them into these terrible, terrible people? What trauma did they go through? In the case of Nigel Farage, he just went to a posh school. I think that's trauma enough for most people. Diz says, sorry, I'm skinned. Yeah, Diz, I know the feeling, mate. But yeah, thanks anyway. I've been doing that with my dad's dad, says One Angry Pagan. Yeah, well worth doing. Oliver Brown says, my dad has dementia too. I'm sorry to hear that, Oliver. Like I say, it's a cruel disease. It's a cruel, well, I don't know if it's Alzheimer's disease. I think my dad's got vascular dementia, which is not technically a disease, I don't think. It's just that for years your brain doesn't get the amount of oxygen that it needs and your brain cells start to die as a result. SG says 3 people have been shot at the Dallas ICE facility, multiple injuries and fatalities according to federal authorities. Oh shit. Well, this was bound to happen sooner or later. Multiple injuries and fatalities at an ICE facility. So one person's died after being shot by a suspected sniper at an immigration facility. The shooter is also dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound after the incident in Dallas. This was announced by Christy Nome, the woman who likes shooting puppies. She gets off and she shoots dogs in the head, and then she pleasures herself while looking at the corpse of their dog. That's what she does. Apparently, I've been told. That's what people are saying. I'm not saying that myself. Obviously, there's no evidence for it that she does that, but that's just what people are saying. You know, people are saying this. You know, that's what they say. Apparently, 3 individuals were down, including the suspected shooter. We're not sure of their condition. The ICE field office in Dallas has been targeted by a series of protests this summer. So this is something that Trump and that were gearing up for. As with the murder of Charlie Kirk, this was a sacrifice of others they were willing to make in order to further their toxic agenda, unfortunately. Colin says, after my dad's stroke, I treasured the moments he smiled at me, a flicker of recognition. I held his hand and sang to him not long before he died. Oh, Colin, that's beautiful. I'm really sorry, man. That really sucks, but yeah, it's grim. It's grim. Daily Blase says, hi Darren, my dad had dementia, Graham, before he passed away. He didn't recognise me, so I know what you mean. Cherish those precious moments. Yeah, thanks Darren. And I'm sorry, mate. We could sit here all day and we could talk about how cancer and dementia has impacted our lives and the lives of the people that we love. And it's just got to be a grim inevitability while pretty much everything else is off the cards. No one, people get immunized against all kinds of stuff now. No kids are dying. Well, they weren't dying of measles. They weren't dying of polio. Nobody's dying of smallpox anymore. There's only a few things that you get that we can't do anything about. And with cancer and dementia, I mean, anything to do with the brain. This is why this treatment for Huntington's is such a breakthrough, because it is a brain disease, a genetic brain disease, and they've managed to slow it down so that instead of having 1 year, you have, the progression that the disease would make over 1 year normally, it's now taking 4 years to do that. In patients who've gone through this treatment, which is just awe-inspiring what they're doing, and they're on the cusp of it. Our very dear friend Mike Dix was treated for bum cancer this year, and they got rid of the cancer. Now, things might happen. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but as things stand, Mike's arse is cancer-free, which is phenomenal, and it's a miracle of modern science. Right, we've got 5 seconds to throw in a super chat. 3, 2, 1. Oh, no super chats. Oh, well, never mind. I tried. I worry that cuts to research are slowing down finding cures, says Alvaro. Yeah, they absolutely will. Absolutely will. People will die. Lots of people will die as a direct result of what Trump is doing. Because The diseases we've still got yet to conquer are the neurodegenerative diseases. The treatment for multiple sclerosis has come on in leaps and bounds in the last couple of decades, and treatments for all different types of cancer, but there's just so many different types of cancer. Every single organ of your body can become cancerous. From your eyes, your skin, your liver, your lungs, every part of you can become cancerous. Anywhere that has cells, which is your entire body. Your bones can get cancer, your marrow can get cancer, your blood can get cancer. And there can be different types of cancer for the same thing. But we've had some real breakthroughs with the injection, the vaccination against human papillomavirus, which means that the HPV vaccination. Did I say that right? Papilloma? Isn't that a dessert? Anyway, that means that fewer women are dying of cervical cancer in their 20s and 30s because they had this jab. And like I said about Mike and other people that I know who have been successfully treated, but for everyone that I know who has successfully beaten cancer and come out the other side, I know someone who hasn't successfully beaten cancer, and they're not around to talk anymore, unfortunately. Any kind of cuts to research like what Trump has done will utterly set back the march of science on those particular diseases, on those particular ailments, like you would not believe. But it's also an opportunity for countries like Britain and Canada and France and Germany and Australia to steal all the brightest and best. Just steal them, just get them over here, give them whatever they want, you know. I mean, imagine like at the end of World War II when the Americans were like, we need these Germans to come over and build rockets for us, you know, the Operation Paperclip. They brought these Nazis over to America because they needed them, okay? Right? We need these scientists from America now. And they're not Nazis. And they're not getting any love or any support or any validation or any respect in America. So fuck it. Get them out of there. Say to them, get out of Dodge. Come live with us. We'll be nice to you. Yay, science. Says one thing. Can't Labour pick up all these experts from America so the UK can start leading the way for cures? Yeah, that's exactly what I just said, Alvaro. Yeah, that's what we should be doing. But the thing is, research takes years and years and years, and you can't just stop research halfway through. This is a huge problem in America right now because there's medical research going on active patients who have actively got these ailments, and they're going through these procedures to try and see what works, and they're just stopping. They're just stopping, and they might be halfway through the course, and it might be really, really helping. And it's one of the worst things you can do, is to just stop halfway through a course. It's why a big problem in the UK is like people don't finish their course of antibiotics, so they have to go back and get more. You've got to finish the course, but if the funding is cut, they don't have the money to make any more of the medicine, whatever they're taking, and run the trial anymore. And these sick people, I don't mean sick in the head, I mean genuinely ill people, they're not getting the support, and people will die. People will die as a result of Trump taking the funding away. Russell Cannon, thank you so much, Russell. I really, really appreciate that. £10 super chat. Too late for the target, but just to help you out anyway. Oh, thank you so much, mate. Honestly, I really, really appreciate that. I can't tell you how much, because I've got to get a taxi back to the island. We don't have a boat on the island at the moment, and it's going to be 30 after doing this show. So yeah, I'm gonna be quite out of pocket by the end of this month, I have to say. Well, I won't be. My credit cards will be quite out of pocket, but that's okay. Credit cards not real money, are they? It's not real money. You don't. SG says Zelensky at UN, only a matter of time before drones are fighting drones, attacking critical infrastructure and targeting people. Fully autonomous, no human except for those who control the AI systems. Yep. I couldn't agree more with Zelensky and with you. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up in a few minutes' time. If there's anything that you wanted me to mention that I haven't actually mentioned today, I tried to go through most of the news stories by going through the newspapers, Trump's bullshit. He has said that he thinks that Russia is a paper tiger, which is odd because that's literally the words that I use to describe well, I call them a paper bear, but I was referring to a paper tiger. I called them a paper bear months and months and months ago. So it's kind of freaky to see your words coming out of Trump's arsehole of a mouth, but they puckered arsehole of a mouth. prolapsed arsehole of a mouth. That's what we should call it. Trump's face that he makes. Oh God, he's so ugly. So there you go. What else have we got here? We've got Russell Cannon says credit cards are real money with a time delay. Yeah, but I'm here now, so I've got to get shit done while I'm here, because otherwise it won't get done. I hate that. I don't want to be an overseer. I don't want to be like, yes, things only get done when I'm here. And I'm not just talking about like on the island. I'm talking about just in general with the processes that I'm going through at the island at the moment, with my lawyer and everything. It's like, unless you actually turn up and you sit there in the office that you need to go and speak to someone at, that they'll leave your paperwork in the file for like, not months, mate, not months, years. You can speed up the process by just walking into the office and sitting there until they do something. They'll do something just to get rid of you, which is a fascinating thing about not just Panama, but there's a lot of countries I've been to like Panama, where the things happen when they happen. You know, there's no rush, which is great. You know, I love that. I love there's no rush. I love that it's laid back. I mean, you know, this is the Caribbean. Of course it's laid back. It's dead hot. It's too hot to do anything in a rush. Why are you rushing about? You want to go somewhere, you get on a boat, you don't have to sit in traffic, you know. But the weird thing is, and in every single one of these countries that I've been to, where they have a sort of, you know, slow, they go slow, yeah? Every single one of them, that mentality does not reach into when they get into a vehicle. As soon as they get into a vehicle, it's like, oh my God, we're gonna go now. We're gonna go, quick, get out of here. Oh my God, we're gonna go, we're all gonna die. And it's just like, really? What's the panic? Why do we need to get going so quick? Why do we need to drive so fast? Why do we need to take that corner so fast? You know, I mean, you might think you're a really good driver like Ayrton Senna, and Ayrton Senna was a really good driver up until the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, where, you know, his car hit a fucking bit of oil on the track, or a bit of debris on the track, and he fucking died. Okay, you can't control what's on the road. You can't control the strength of the walls of the tires of your car. You can't control whether something's just going to break because it's so old. And whizzing around corners at 90 miles an hour with your passengers freaking out, and there's no safety belts here either, by the way. It's just it's cognitive dissonance par excellence. It's just like, why are you so chill when you're out of a car? And you'll just sit there and you can wait for hours and just be like, yo, this is cool. But once you're in a car, it's like, oh my God, everyone quick, we gotta go. Everyone quick, get in the car. You know, there's no messing about. You know, if a car is stopped and you're getting into a taxi, the car behind will beep. Like, there's no chance of them not beeping. No matter how quickly you fling yourself into that taxi head first, they will still beep, because they have had to slow down. Not even stop sometimes, just like slow down a little bit in their car. And I think about this, and I think, well, actually, we do the same thing in the UK. We really do. You know, we go mad when we go into cars. Someone needs to write a book about this, about vehicle madness. What is it about cars that makes people go crazy? Aggressive lunatics. We're like, oh my God, we're gonna run out of time, man. Everyone's like, becomes very aware of the ticking time that they have left on this planet. Enjoy your coffee, says Saz. Thank you so much for that super chat, Saz. That is very, very kind of you. Saying enjoy your coffee, and you give them £5. That would actually buy me 5 coffees, 5 of these little coffees that I've got here. Nostro coffee, our coffee, Deranged coffee. Pete, no, like I said, too complicated. I could have re-kickstarted with that last music related item I bought. And Alvon says, on another note, my dad and my brother have autism, and I find it offensive the way Donald talks about it. Yeah, that's another thing that I really hate about the way that these scumbags talk about people who, you know, are autistic, and I suppose that covers through to the ADHD range as well. It's some kind of like debilitating ailment that you heard what RFK Jr. said the other week, when he was like, oh, autistic people can't go to the toilet, and they'll never get married, and they'll never have a job. And I'm like, never have a job? Are you kidding me? Architects, railway engineers, bloody scientists in general, research scientists. The number of autistic people go into those professions, it's overwhelming. What are you talking about? They won't have a job. Yes, there are some very, very, very extreme cases of autism where people find it difficult to just do anything. But even that, in this day and age, when you can work from home, you can work on the internet, you can make a website, you don't have to talk to anyone, you don't have to speak to anyone, you don't have to do any face-to-face shit, you can just sit and hyper focus on the thing that you are interested in, that your brain is saying, yep, let's do this. And the idea that autistic people are somehow left behind by society, they're absolutely not. If they were, I mean, architecture would look a lot different, wouldn't it? If there were no autistic people making buildings. Because obviously autistic people, and this includes people with ADHD, you know, on a similar spectrum, right? They process emotion differently. They process emotion differently. And so if you could imagine like borderline personality disorder, which is not a great term for what it is, but with borderline personality disorder, you tend to feel more emotion about stuff. So that's great if you're in love, because it makes you feel more in love than anyone. If you're happy, it makes you more happy. You feel 30% more happy than any other person. But then it makes you more jealous, it makes you more angry, it makes you more paranoid. So any emotion that you have is magnified by this the way your brain chemistry, essentially, right? And autism is the flip side of that. So there are certain things where you should feel emotion, you might feel it on the inside, but you might find it difficult to express it, and you might see things as unnecessary, like, and be quite cold about it. Like, I see this as unnecessary, I'm shutting this down. Whereas others will be like, well, no, we've got to have we've got to have some flowers in the background. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of embellishments. And I see a lot of modern buildings as buildings, could say like buildings on the spectrum, if you know what I mean? Like, they've been built with no embellishments. It's just no emotion. Well, very little. Oh, it's froze. Yeah. Sorry, we got disconnected. Okay, we're back. I'm brighter than ever. Sorry, I was just talking about architecture and morality. Name the band. And I want to go back to what Ernie said just then. Autism isn't a disease; it's a way of being, like you say, like being left-handed, yeah, or being gay, or being trans. It's just something you are. And if you know that you are autistic, and the people that you know and love in your life know you're autistic, they will make accommodations for the fact that you are autistic. If nobody knows, if you end up, and ADHD people do this all the time, they're not diagnosed with ADHD, and this is why the diagnosis of ADHD was such a relief for me, even though I'm not on any kind of medication. Just having the diagnosis changed my outlook on life, and it allowed me to forgive myself for some of the stupid shit I've done in the past. It allowed me to understand myself a lot better and be more effective in what I do. Just from knowing that my brain works differently, and this is why. To me, getting that diagnosis was like someone saying to me, you've been writing with the wrong hand all your life, Graham. And I'm like, oh, that's why my handwriting's so shit. Try writing with your left hand. Oh my God, that's so much easier. That's it to me. Or, you know, someone who's been married to a woman for years who, like, has never been happy, and then realizes that they're gay, and they're like, oh, this makes more sense that I like men. Okay, that's fine. And as long as you know what you are and who you are, you can make accommodations for the way you are, and so can the people in your life, the people who know you, the people who love you. If you don't know, people might think you're just being a jerk. People might just think you're being rude, or like you just go on all the time about shit and you never shut up, which I do. OMD, says Person Impersonator. Well done, you win a gold star and a jelly baby. Architecture and Morality was an OMD album. Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. All brains are different, and that's not wrong. Everyone is a different person. Yeah. But what Trump is saying, and FKR Jr., whatever the fuck his initials are, right? What they're saying... Sorry, I've got to change the settings again because they've gone like a light bulb. What they're saying effectively is that they think that paracetamol is causing children to be left-handed. That's how daft it is. That's how utterly daft it is. They're saying that aspirin is causing children to be born with blue eyes. It's just like, no, that's not the way things work in any way, shape or form. And even if it was, who gives a shit? But yeah, Cure New Order on Depeche Mode just joining in, says L. Graham, I'll be bored if we were all the same. Yeah. Once upon a time, I was walking past the Heebie Jeebies pub in Liverpool with my friend Sarah, and there was a pub quiz on, and we went in, and it was just me and her, so we were like, can we join another team? There was another team of 2 women, and we said, can we join you? And they went, yeah, sure. And we ended up winning the quiz. And I tell you this because one of the girls, we were talking about, whatever, and my friend Sarah works in events, and obviously, I talk about music a lot. And one of the girls that we joined up with, just completely randomly, her dad was David Hughes or David Jones. Was it David Jones? He was the first keyboardist in OMD on their first album, and then I think he got kicked out of the band. I'm gonna look up his name now, because keyboardist. I got to. Oh, the first was Paul Humphreys. No, it wasn't Paul Humphreys. Martin Cooper, Martin Holmes, Dave Hughes. Yes, Dave Hughes. There you go. It was David Hughes. I thought it was. I was like, David Jones. He was in the Monkees, wasn't he? Wasn't David Bowie's real name David Jones? Wasn't it? And he thought it sounded a bit boring. But yes, he was. He was a musician back in ads. There you go. Anyway, so very random. You just go into a pub in Liverpool and you join a quiz team, and one of the members is the daughter of a former member of OMD. I love Liverpool. It's such a great place. Anyway, listen, I'll be back there. I'll be back there on Sunday, reporting from the Labour Party conference. But oh, there you go. David Jones is a YouTuber who does the EEV blog, electronic stuff. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, listen. What you need to know is that us streamers bring in £2.2 billion into the British economy. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. Super chats are open. Now, I better get going now because I've gone 12 minutes over. But then I felt it was really, really important to regale you with a story about, OMD. Because that's the way my mind works. Tangents. But yeah, if you are autistic yourself, or you're someone in your family, or one of your friends is autistic, it's not an ailment, it's not a disease. In some ways it can help. It can help you do certain things that are not possible if you're not autistic. So there you go. I'm not going to say it's a superpower because I know a lot of people struggle with it. I'm not going to say that ADHD is necessarily a superpower, but I don't think that I could have done what I've done in my life, like traveling to every country in the world without flying. I don't think I could have done that if I wasn't ADHD. If I wasn't ADHD. And it still makes me chuckle to this day when I watch my TV show back, and every episode starts with me in Gabon on the streets of Libreville explaining how I'm going to travel to every country in the world without flying in just 1 year. I say 1 year at the beginning of the show. I say 1 year. It took me 4 years. That's the most ADHD thing ever. I thought it was going to take me 1 year. It took me 4 and 1 month. Right then. Okay. My missus taught the singer of Travis's kids. That's quite cool. Andy from Travis, he lives in Liverpool now, and he's a painter. He's well worth following. Okay, so I'm going to get going now. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to put that link in the chat again. This is for the event on Monday, me and Phil. We've still got some tickets left. The tickets are free. Snap them up and come along. don't snap them up when you're not coming along, because that'd be pointless. But hope to see you then. Hope you could hear me over the noise of all the construction work that's going on around me. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. You'll pay for my taxi fare home to the island. And until next time, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.